Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Julie and I am the author of the blog CapturingWonderland.com. Today I'm going to take you on a little journey. I have been searching for a princess bed for my 4-year-old and 2-year-old for quite a while. There is a specific kind of bed frame that I've been looking for to do their bedroom in. And last night I just happened to find it on Facebook Marketplace for $20. This is a vintage bed frame and it is complete, which is really rare. A lot of times you can find the headboard and the footboard, but you can't find the side rails that go with it. Well, this has the side rails, so I'm super excited. And you know what? It's funny because the guy had the listing at ship only, and I just took a chance and I messaged him last night when I found it and I asked if he meant to do it as ship only or if I could pick it up. And he messaged me back this morning and said that it wasn't ship only. It was maybe an accident. He didn't mean to actually click that and I can pick it up. So I'm on my way. It's an hour drive, so it's not like a hop, skip, and a jump, but for $20, it's totally worth it. And this is one of the ways that I am able to furnish my house on a very small one teacher's income for a family of 7. Let's get started on our journey. I'm so excited to bring you with me. I'm gonna start driving now. Bye. Just picked it up and he gave me an extra headboard. He said if he finds the rest of it, he'll let me know. That's pretty awesome. It is a torrential downpour today, so I had to drive really slowly, and that's lovely weather. Thankfully, I didn't bring my kids so that I could put it in the back. Look how that beautiful. I'm so excited. She's gonna be so excited. It needs work, obviously. It's a $20 bed frame and it's old, but I'm excited to get to work on it, as well as the millions of other projects that I have currently waiting in my house for me. Hey friends, Julie stopping by to tell you don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell at the bottom there so that you will be informed every time I make a new video. All right, back to furnishing your home on a budget. Today I wanted to bring you my best tips on how to furnish your home on a budget. When you want to create a cozy, collected, curated home on a budget, it does take a little bit longer of a time, but honestly, the collected home look takes time anyway. It is basically an anthropological history of your home, so it is done layer by layer. I have a decade and a half of learning and honing my skills and gathering some of the best advice from bloggers and YouTubers and other mothers in the same situation that I have been, living on a small single income and figuring a lot of things out the hard way. I'm the first one to tell you that I have made some mistakes in this department. Obviously, I have purchased things that I thought were going to be a great idea and then they just didn't turn out and they ended up being a waste of money. Most of the time I can make my money back by flipping the item, but every now and then it's a lost cause. And we definitely have never had a furnishing budget or a furniture budget. That's just not something that makes it onto our budget lines. It's basically, hey, we have a little bit of extra cash or we have some spending money, and so usually it's me that chooses to go out and spend my extra money in that way. Birthday money, whatnot. Usually I'm the one that goes out and spends the money on those things because it's the thing that I'm passionate about, is the homemaking, the decorating, the creating a warm, cozy home for my family and I to live in. There is a bit of discovering that you have to do when you're trying to grow into a personal style. It's a process that sometimes takes decades. I would have to say it probably almost always takes that long, at least for those of us like me that are not an interior designer by trade. I feel like life has been my classroom. So let me tell you, you will likely buy some things like I did that will be complete, utter mistakes, and you will feel a little bit guilty and maybe defeated a bit, having to then get rid of the item that has become a burden instead of being a commodity. But that's somewhat part of the whole process, like I said. And the home grows with you as you mature and realize what fits you and what comforts you ultimately. Aesthetics are a really personal thing, very dependent on each individual person. And it's just something that you have to discover over time. The things that I like today at 38 years old are definitely not the things that I liked 15 years ago when I first became a wife and a mother. Here are some of my best tips to help you furnish your home on a budget. We didn't buy new furniture because we simply chose not to. We put our money into the dream of being completely debt-free one day. We wanted to make really responsible decisions. And for years, especially in the beginning, I'd say maybe the first 5 to 7 years, we lived with hand-me-down furniture, just stuff that people gave to us, and that was perfectly fine. It worked well. And obviously starting out a marriage in debt is not how you dream of starting out your life, but things happen, life happens. And even if you're further into your 30s like I am now, I know more than ever that things happen in life. We have had freak things happen, so I completely understand being in debt, and it's not something that most people want to have over their heads. So I do not judge. Life throws stuff at you. So in any case, part of the reason why we had a dream of being completely debt-free, and we followed the Dave Ramsey protocol, and we did eventually, after 5 years of working our tails off and not spending our money on basically anything else, we got out of debt and we purchased our home. And I love the saying, necessity is the mother of invention, which when the need for something becomes imperative, you are forced to find ways of getting or achieving it. So basically, because we are in this situation, I have been forced to look at this challenge in a different way and change my entire mental shift at how I look at things. It's not something I suffer through or struggle with. I don't want to feel that way. It is a challenge, but I want to rise to the challenge and have a good attitude about it. And honestly, at this point, I would probably spend my money exactly how I spend it now, even if I had millions. All of that to say, here's my first tip. Make frugality a part of your lifestyle. Furnishing your home on a budget. To do that, the first step is really to make it a part of your lifestyle. You have to adopt the mindset and do proper research so you know exactly what items are worth. When you decide that you want to purchase something, you need to know what they're worth, first of all. That way, you will recognize a really great deal when you find it. Make local thrift stores, flea markets, estate sales, garage sales, yard sales, even Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, or Facebook groups that do selling as well, a permanent fixture in your life. To truly become successful at training your eye is almost to turn it into an obsession. And I say this because it's like anything that you want to be really good at. You have to practice it and you have to hone it, and it has to be something that you are on top of daily. That is exactly how it had to be when we were getting out of debt. To live on a very tight budget, we had to be very gazelle intense, as Dave says. You have to keep your eye on it constantly. And so determination and patience are two great skills to have in this process. It is a complete mental shift. Obviously, furniture seems like it is the largest expense, but when you're buying an entire dining room set for $75 and it takes up a giant portion of the room, but all of the little stuff is really going to actually be what ends up costing the most. So you want to be very careful that you are spending small amounts of money on any small decor that you are buying as well, because those things add up and it doesn't feel like it, because generally you're only buying one or two little things at a time. So you think, oh, $5 or $6 here is not that much. But when you add it up over hundreds of items, it really does quickly add up. It's like the Dollar Tree. My second tip is to utilize free items. Yes, you can still find lots of things for free. I do it all the time. It's my favorite. Obviously, it's my favorite thing. Because if I don't have to spend any money buying the item, then I am ahead on so many levels. I am 100% unashamed to say that I pick things up off the side of the road. I'm okay with it. I take it out of people's garbage. If they're getting rid of it and they don't want it, then it's free game for me. We have a thrift store just down the road that I pass every single time we leave our house, and I look look every single time because they don't sell furniture in that thrift store. So they simply just put it out next to their dumpster for free. And I couldn't tell you how many pieces I've actually picked up from there that I ended up making money off of, because even if they don't fit the style that I have in my home, if it's a really good piece of furniture, I will take it just so it doesn't get thrown out, and then a lot of times I'll redo it and make money off of it. And then that money in turn can go towards items that I actually do want for my home. So definitely always look for free stuff. Seems like something that should be a no-brainer. My third tip is the challenge to furnish your home on a budget can be made into a game. Make it fun. Make it an adventure. When we bought our first house, this house that we're currently living, it brought on a whole slew of expenses that we were simply not prepared for. Stuff that you don't think about until you have owned a home. So obviously life's challenges don't stop when you get out of debt. So I took the challenge when we purchased this home and made it into a game. When I discovered minimalism, my whole entire mentality shifted on what constituted a great deal. You can buy all kinds of things, new and used, at a great discounted price, but is it a good idea? I guess it depends on your style and the rules that you've set for yourself. I personally found over time that I wasted more money buying things on clearance from places like Target and TJ Maxx and stuff like that, because I was hung up on the fact that it was cheap. Not a good reason to buy something. It really isn't. So bargain shopping definitely has a dark side. Therefore, the game had to have a few rules to follow for my peace of mind. So here's some of the rules that I set for myself for buying furniture. 1, it must be quality furniture or furnishings, no particle board junk. It must be a good investment. So antique and vintage solid wood furniture is by far the best investment you can make when spending your money, because it has lasted 60, 70, 80, 100 years. It is made well. They don't make furniture like that anymore, unfortunately. I must feel confident that I can resell it and make a profit. And it has to be in good condition. And certainly I have to be confident that I can fix whatever ails it within my limited scope of skills. Third rule is the item must be something I can bring home in my vehicle or my trailer. I'm not going to pay for delivery, and I don't like to ask for help unless I absolutely need it. I don't want to bother somebody else by asking them to come and pick up a heavy piece of furniture and bring it into my home. Number 4, it has to fit into our house. This is a fun one. We haven't yet had anything that didn't fit into the house, but we have had several items that were absolutely a nightmare to get in and out of our house when we ultimately sold them. You have to pay attention to this, especially if you have stairs or a small doorway or sharp corners that you have to turn at some point in your house. You have to be aware of the width and the length of the items. So for other furnishings, I have a couple of rules as well. The first rule is a part of specific collection. So it needs to be something that I am currently collecting or looking for. I try not to make thoughtless purchases just to buy something. Those typically end up being stuff that ends up in my giveaway bags or boxes. There's a couple of things that I am specifically collecting, which is false craft heritage dishes. And at this point, I don't just pick up anything. I know the pieces that I have already, and I don't want doubles, triples, and quadruples of the exact same thing, unless it's something like bowls, which are harder to find. And they're the dishes that we currently use. So over time, they do get broken every now and then, and I have to replace them. So I'm also collecting ironstone, which I have here on my table right now, and copper. But copper can be expensive, so it really does depend on the price for that. Rule number 2 for other furnishings is to know their worth and buy them cheap. Since the rest of these household items are not necessities at all, I don't allow myself to spend much on them. And definitely if it isn't a piece of functional decor. The third rule for other furnishings is must have multiple uses or be purposeful. So this is a general rule, but I do break it sometimes for things like art. But generally speaking, I like to invest in functional decor that serves multiple purposes. The fourth rule that I have for other furnishings is I must have a place for it in my mind. Now I break this rule on a regular basis, and I regret it because I end up with piles all over my house of things that treasures that I bring home, and I'm not 100% certain where it's going, probably because most of the rooms in my house have yet to be actually finished. So my fourth tip for the day is sales aren't just for furniture stores and online stores. Guys, thrift stores and flea markets put on sales for holidays too, like Black Friday and Labor Day. Did you know that? Let me know if you knew, because there was a time that I didn't realize that this was actually a thing. So when Black Friday or Labor Day rolls around, don't forget to check out your local thrift stores or flea markets and secondhand shops to see what kind of sales they're running. A few other things to keep in mind when hunting for deals on the deals is to sign up for price alerts and texts at your local thrift stores if they offer them. Sign up for their free coupons or their frequent shopper rewards programs. And then know when certain merchandise or color of tag goes on sale for even lower prices, because they do discount things if they've been there in a certain, for a long period of time. And then ask when their markdown days are. The more you know, the more you can save. I have started to save a lot of money with one of our local thrift store chains in the area that we have. They have started throwing $10 off $35 purchases. And the only reason I know when they put one on is because they send me a text. It's like a little alert, everyone come shopping. And honestly, I have saved a ton of money. Stuff was on sale or even clearanced out, and then I save an additional $10. And I'm on their frequent shopper rewards program also, so I earn percentages off as I shop as well. So sometimes I will get 20 and 30% off, and then they'll give me the coupon on top of that. So it's just ridiculously good news. So today I hope I have given you some wise advice and some thoughtful inspiration to inspire you in your journey going forward in creating a beautiful home on a very small budget. It is possible, guys. I know it's a challenge, but the challenge can be fun, and it is so rewarding at the end of the day when you look in your space and you know that you have not outspent yourself or made a poor financial choice that will affect you far into the future by doing something stupid like buying something on a credit card when you should pay for cash, or getting into a personal loan to buy or rent furniture. Don't do stuff like that. Just buy them used, use some of my tips, and pretty soon you will have gorgeous, curated, collected home, and the rooms will feel 100% your style, because they will be. They will be entirely curated by you. Thank you, friends, so much for watching all the way through if you've made it this far. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and share it with any friends that you feel would find this content useful. Thanks again. Bye.